Flex Wheeler, born on August 23, 1965 in Fountain Valley, California, is widely regarded as one of the most aesthetically gifted bodybuilders to have ever graced the stage. From a young age, Wheeler faced a variety of challenges, both personal and physical, but it was his remarkable genetics, discipline, and relentless work ethic that would propel him to the heights of bodybuilding stardom. Wheeler's childhood was not without difficulties. Raised in a tough environment, he spent much of his early years in a single-parent household. Wheeler's mother was a key figure in his upbringing, and she worked hard to support him and his siblings. Despite the hardships at home, Wheeler found solace in sports, particularly in the realm of fitness. He initially dabbled in football and wrestling, but it was weightlifting that would capture his attention and change his life forever. At the age of 18, Flex Wheeler joined a local gym and began weight training. He was immediately drawn to bodybuilding, largely because of the intense discipline and structure it offered. Wheeler's striking physique, even in the early stages of his training, turned heads. His natural muscularity, combined with his impeccable symmetry, made him stand out from others at the gym. His training was intense, and he quickly developed a passion for building his body into a work of art. However, it wasn't until he saw a magazine featuring the bodybuilding greats of the time that Wheeler truly began to believe that he could pursue bodybuilding at a professional level. Rise to fame and career beginnings. Flex Wheeler's path to bodybuilding greatness began with his early competitions, where he made an immediate impact. After training for just a few years, Wheeler entered his first bodybuilding contest, the 1983 Mr. Teenage California, and won the title. This victory was an early sign of his potential and set the stage for his future success in the sport. By the late 1980s, Wheeler began competing at a higher level. In 1989, he won his first major competition, the 1989 Mr. California, which helped him gain recognition in the bodybuilding community. His success at regional competitions quickly earned him an invitation to larger, more prestigious events. Wheeler's appeal was not just his size but his symmetry, which became one of his trademark features. In a sport that often prioritized sheer size, Wheeler's balance, proportion, and muscularity allowed him to rise above many of his peers. Wheeler's defining trait was his exceptional symmetry, which made him stand out as a truly unique competitor. His waist was narrow, his shoulders and chest were broad, and his legs were perfectly balanced to match the rest of his physique. This combination of size and proportion earned him the nickname the Sultan of Symmetry. It was his ability to combine the two that would help him become a dominant force in bodybuilding. Career peak and success. Flex Wheeler's career truly began to peak in the 1990s. His breakthrough moment came in 1993 when he won the prestigious 1993 Arnold Classic, one of the most respected bodybuilding contests in the world. This victory was not only his first major win on the international stage, but it also served as a turning point for his career. Wheeler's combination of muscle size, definition, and aesthetics made him a fan favorite, and his success at the Arnold Classic solidified his place among the top bodybuilders of the era. Following his success at the Arnold Classic, Wheeler went on to dominate the bodybuilding scene in the 1990s. His wins at the 1993 and 1994 Ironman Pro Invitational, as well as the 1995 Night of Champions, demonstrated his increasing strength and consistency. Throughout this period, Wheeler was seen as one of the most aesthetic bodybuilders to compete at the professional level, with many comparing him to the legends of the sport, including Arnold Schwarzenegger. However, Wheeler's career truly reached its zenith in 1998 when he placed second at the Mr. Olympia competition, one of the most coveted titles in bodybuilding. The victory at the 1998 Mr. Olympia was bittersweet for Wheeler, as he had narrowly missed out on the top spot to the legendary Ronnie Coleman. Despite this, the 1998 Mr. Olympia competition marked the pinnacle of his career, with many considering Wheeler's physique to be the most aesthetically pleasing of all the competitors. His combination of size, symmetry, and conditioning earned him the title of the best physique in bodybuilding, despite not winning the title that year. Wheeler's peak physique was often regarded as the epitome of bodybuilding excellence. His muscular development was so refined that it became a template for what future generations of bodybuilders would strive to achieve. His physique was the perfect blend of mass and definition, and his focus on posing and presentation helped to elevate the sport's aesthetic appeal. Throughout the 1990s, Wheeler continued to be a major force in the bodybuilding world, with victories in major competitions such as the Ironman Pro, Night of Champions, and Arnold Classic. Main achievements and contributions to bodybuilding. Flex Wheeler's career is defined by a series of impressive victories and accolades that solidified his place as one of bodybuilding's all-time greats. His most notable achievements include winning the Arnold Classic title 4 times: 1993, 1997, 1998, and 2000, a feat that only a few athletes in the sport's history have accomplished. Additionally, his multiple victories at the Ironman Pro and Night of Champions contests demonstrated his dominance in the sport throughout the 1990s and early 2000s. While Wheeler's competitive career was often overshadowed by the dominance of Ronnie Coleman and other bodybuilders of his era, his impact on bodybuilding cannot be overstated. He was the embodiment of the ideal bodybuilder, an athlete who prioritized not just size but symmetry, proportion, and presentation. His emphasis on posing and how to present a physique on stage set a new standard for bodybuilders in the 1990s and beyond. Wheeler was among the first athletes to show that bodybuilding was not just about the size of one's muscles but also about how one carried themselves on stage. His contributions to bodybuilding extended beyond the stage. After his retirement, Wheeler became a coach and mentor to aspiring bodybuilders, passing on his vast knowledge of training, nutrition, and posing. His emphasis on symmetry and the aesthetic side of bodybuilding influenced the direction of the sport and helped shape the standards for future generations of athletes. Final years in bodybuilding and post-competition life. After a career marked by remarkable success and almost equally significant challenges, Flex Wheeler's competitive career began to slow down. His last major competition was the 2000 Mr. Olympia contest, where he placed 6th. Following this event, Wheeler began to step back from the competitive stage as injuries and personal issues began to take their toll on his body. Wheeler's post-competition life was marked by both triumph and difficulty. In 2001, he faced a serious health scare when he was diagnosed with kidney disease, which required a kidney transplant. In addition, he battled several other personal and health issues throughout his later years, but his resilience and positive attitude allowed him to continue to be a respected figure in the bodybuilding world. Though his competitive career ended earlier than many had hoped, Flex Wheeler's legacy in the sport of bodybuilding remains strong. He is widely considered one of the most gifted and influential athletes in the sport's history. He remains a beloved figure among fans, who continue to admire his physical perfection and contributions to bodybuilding's development. Legacy and impact on bodybuilding. Flex Wheeler's impact on bodybuilding is undeniable. Though he may not have won the Mr. Olympia title, his legacy is firmly entrenched in the history of the sport. His remarkable symmetry, aesthetic appeal, and flawless conditioning set a standard that would inspire generations of athletes to come. Wheeler was ahead of his time, blending size and artistry to create the ideal bodybuilding physique, making him one of the sport's true icons. His contributions to bodybuilding extend beyond his victories. Flex Wheeler's posing techniques and emphasis on stage presentation raised the bar for all future bodybuilders. His flawless aesthetics and the overall visual appeal of his physique continue to be a benchmark for aspiring athletes in the sport. His influence on the modern bodybuilding landscape remains significant, as newer generations continue to look up to him as a role model and a standard of excellence. Flex Wheeler's influence on bodybuilding is not just a matter of titles or accolades, it is the aesthetic and cultural impact he left behind that ensures his place among the most important figures in the history of the sport.